Okay. My name is Johnny Zackary. I'm Fire Marshal, Public Information Officer for the Longview Fire Department. Thank you for gathering here today, especially so we can get this done and get you the information at the same time. I will answer questions that I can answer, but the main focus of this is just to be transparent and let y'all know where we're at to date based on yesterday evening and today's events. As you know, we did have 4 structure fires in a short period of time. Each of these structure fires were intentionally set. What we do know is each of these residential fires were unoccupied structures. The structures also did not have utilities to the structures. At this time, we have not found a link between the 4 fires yesterday evening and this morning that link them together. So we do not have anything that's saying these are all connected as residential units. Fortunately, there were no injuries, firefighter or civilian, as a result of these 4 fires. Each fire had a varying degree of damage. Most of them were heavily damaged, some a little less damage. We are working closely with the Longview Police Department. We're sharing information. We already have a great working relationship, but in something as serious as this, we're making sure that we are cross-sharing information and working closely with the Longview Police Department. That police department is doing extra patrols, and they will continue to do extra patrols for the safety of this area or any portions of Longview that we have seen recent activity in. We ask that the citizens pay very close attention to their surroundings, and if they have properties that they rent or vacant properties, make sure they're properly secured. It's required to be properly secured anyway, but police your own units, make sure they are properly secured. We ask that if you have any information, regardless of how insignificant or significant you think it is, we need that information. And that information can be called in to 903-237 1170. Also, if you have any information and you want to remain anonymous, you can call the Gray County Crime Stoppers, and that's a good tool for you to use to help stop these unnecessary crimes in your area. We have had concerned citizens come to us, and we appreciate their cooperation in helping us with this very unfortunate event of fires. So with that, these fires are under investigation. That's what we have for now, and all of our community is very important to us. They're not just burning a vacant structure; they're burning somebody's memories. Some of the neighbors may have grown up in these houses, and it's very sad that these kind of acts are being done without thinking about the consequences. That it's not just a structure.
Are we open to questions?
Yes.
Wonderful. I know that you said that these homes were not vacant, or they were not occupied at the time. We were out at the scene, and a lot of them seem to be, just complete total losses. Do we have an idea of how these fires started?
We do know they were intentionally set. That's as far as I can go today because they are under investigation.
Okay, so we don't have any idea if they, any sort of, they came in and set them on fire in a certain way?
Right. Well, right now we know they were all intentionally set, and that being known is important to the citizens and to us that this is a crime that carries a heavy penalty.
Do we believe that this has to do with the recent gang violence?
We cannot, as of today, we can't link it directly to it or indirectly, so we cannot link it at this time. Okay. That is something we are concerned with too, but right now we cannot link it to the recent fires of Sunday, and we have not found any relation with the owners and recent events.
Okay. Have you brought in an accelerant sniffing dog?
We have not.
Okay. Is that something you're looking at doing?
Not at this time.
Okay. So you guys have a pretty good education?
The accelerant dog is an option, but we have not brought one in. It's a tool that we can always resort to, but we have not at this time.
Okay, so apparently it's a little more obvious than that, your indicators as far as the fires go.
If we think we need to bring a dog in, we will, but we just haven't at this time.
Okay. Does it look like they were all set in a similar way?
They were all intentionally set, and that's as far as I'm going to go right now.
Do you have reason to believe that they were all set by the same person?
That we cannot prove. That 3 of them were set fairly close in time. The other one, there was a lag. So we can't at this time say the same persons or persons were responsible for each of the fires that were set.
Have you all established a specific task force to go in and assess these? I know you said that you're under investigation, but now is there some sort of unit within the fire department and police department cohesively working on this together?
Yes, so what we have the fire marshal's office, and we have investigators within the fire marshal's office. They are working extra hours, tirelessly actually, and but then there's different units within the police department, and we have met with those units, and those units have responsibilities, but together we're collaboratively able to work together on such an issue as this.
Okay. Judging by the damage, how long do you expect this investigation to take?
That's hard to say. It depends on, you know, we always need cooperation of people out in the area. So depends on cooperation, and sometimes it takes a little longer, sometimes it's pretty quick. But we do have information flowing in, and that's why we urge the citizens to give us any information, even if they think it's not that relevant, because that inflow of information is beneficial in the expediting of a case.
Mr. Zackary, have you received any information from residents about how the fire started, or if they saw anyone around the scene at that time?
I can just say that we are getting feedback, and we're going to process that information based on how it fits with each location.
Have you been able to contact the owners of those 4 houses?
We have spoke with owners or owner representatives, and that is one of the first things we were doing is finding out who owns each property, and that's why I can say that right now we don't see a link between the owners.
Are y'all pursuing any leads, or have y'all gotten any tips based on the fact that a lot of the fires were set in an almost circular pattern kind of surrounding the Laterno University area?
We do know through some analysis the pattern, but repeat your question, please.
Just from looking at the times when the fires were set and the areas of where they were set at, a lot of them happen to be right on the fringes or around the edge of Laterno University or in that area. And judging by the different times, it looks almost like a circular pattern whenever you go and actually look at the general locations of where the fires were set. I didn't know if that was a possible lead that y'all were pursuing.
Laterno University, as far as I know, has had no incidents or no recorded incidents that relate to this, so there's no relation between a local university and these fires at all at this time.
Have police patrols picked up? Is that something you've talked to?
They have, and I was assured today that yes, that will continue the increased patrols in various areas that are of concern.
What are those areas of concern at this time, just around where the fires happened?
Yeah, in the vicinity of where the fires have occurred. But, you know, this is something that we want all citizens to be aware of their community they live in and dwell in and, you know, drive in. So we don't need to be narrowly focused, even though the investigation may be narrow at this time in a certain area. This is about public safety all over, and we all need to take responsibility for being very observant and not taking for granted that what you know isn't relevant to reporting it.
So I guess are some of your investigators also going on patrol?
They are out at various times for various reasons, and we're always observant of our surroundings as well. So what we're asking the public to do is something we do on an ongoing basis.
Mr. Zackary, is there anything that we haven't asked about, or maybe anything that stuck out at the scene that civilians will be able to identify easily, or anything like that?
Not right now, there's not, and I appreciate that question. And I do appreciate each of you for being here, because collectively we work as a team, and y'all are valuable to us as well. I think you feel our urgency that this is not acceptable. And you know, we also have the concern not only for the citizens but the firefighters. And you know, without saying, you know, if a firefighter were to be injured, it does change the crime from to a higher level of a felony. But you know, our firefighters are trained to do this, but you know, this is an unnecessary risk they're having to take to exhaustion with that many fires.
Is there any indication that the houses were broken into?
We've looked at different things at different houses, and that's all being considered in the investigation.
And the origins of the fire, were they exterior or interior?
It varied.
Oh.
It varied. So, like I said, we will continue to work this, and I appreciate your cooperation in letting us work the investigative side, because I think we all want the same thing, is these unnecessary fires to stop.
Was there any indication that somebody had gone in and had been staying there, even though there wasn't power hooked up to these places?
These were all vacant, empty houses at the time of the fire occurred.
Okay.
Okay, thank you all very much. We will update you if we have any more events, and thank you for your time. And so just, if you don't have my email's a good way to reach me. We'll make sure you have that. And but thank you for your time today.